it over. It's my senior year of high school. I was starting to feel a little selfish. And after the lady had left and my parents had told me that I could think it over and they would respect my wishes, and I told them, I'm out. I don't know. This seems like a lot. I don't know if I want to do this. They were like, well, it's too late. It's too late. So a couple weeks later, we were driving to the airport to pick up Elidan. We made him a sign that we held up so he'd know that we were his people. And he came out of the plane. We met him. It was great. We walked out of the airport in beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan. And he's looking around with wondrous eyes like, America. And we're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the smallest airport. It was kind of funny. He's just, oh, America, this is great. And we drive back to the house, and I made a little thing so I wouldn't forget important things. We drove back to the house, and that night, we had, before we had agreed to it, or my parents had agreed to it, he had this list that said all of his interests, like soccer, said he liked cooking, other things like that. And so the first night, my mom's making dinner, and she's like, "Oh, Elidan, I remember it said on your sheet that you really liked cooking. Would you love to cook us like one of your Albanian meals one of these nights?" And he goes, "Cooking is for women. I don't cook." And we were like, "Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, let's move on, that night we're like, "Oh, you want to take a shower? You had a long day traveling?" He's like, "Yeah." So he hops in the bathroom, takes a shower. After he's done, he leaves. My dad walks in, and there's water on every surface of the inside of the bathroom. We're like, what is going on? They must shake dry in Albania. I'm not sure. This cultural exchange is very interesting. And so, like I said, this is my first time telling the story. Ever. Don't even talk that much. So then the next day, I want to show him the town. I take him in my car, show him beautiful Kent City. There's a four-way stop in the middle of Kent City. There is no stoplight in Kent City. It is a very small town. And we drive over to the high school. I show him where we're going to be going to school. And he goes, yes, William. You let me drive your father's car. And I said, I don't know. I heard that you signed something that said you weren't supposed to drive vehicles while you're an exchange student. And he's like, yes, but my father teaches me very well. I can drive your father's car. And I said, I don't know. We better check in with somebody before we do that. And then we got home. And then he asked my dad if he could wash the car, because he just wanted to get close to it, So he washed the car. And he would maybe wash the car maybe a couple times a week. But whenever he washed the car, it got dirtier than when he started. All the streaks and stuff, he just kind of wanted to be close to it, and he didn't really have a lot of car washing ability. But, let's see, things keep moving. My handwriting is really bad. Some strange things started happening, even stranger than I've already talked about. So he wanted to travel, We were like, you can't drive a car, but here's a bicycle, Elidan. Drive around the country, go have fun. And so he would take his bike out and around in the country. And then one day, my best buddy at the time, he was like, hey man, Elidan drove his bike by my house the other day while I was mowing the lawn. And he kind of motioned for me, so he got off the lawnmower, went and said hi. And apparently Elidan was asking him how much money he could get for 200 CDs. Because he was trying to sell my CD collection to one of my best friends. He was like, I thought I could get a real good deal out of it, but I knew they were yours, so I'd have to give them back to you. So he didn't buy the CDs. some other funny things that started happening is my homework started disappearing. I would show up to school, and all my homework out of my backpack was gone that I did the night before. And because I'm a pretty trustworthy guy, all the teachers were like, "No problem, you know, you're okay." But it was a mystery to me where this homework was going. Ellie Don, well, he really liked the car. And there was one day, one fateful day, when I was driving home with my friend, past my mom on the street, a mile before we got to the house. We are pulling up to the driveway, and I'm seeing a car idle down our driveway as we pull up. I was like, I wonder if my dad's taking the car out. No, he's not home right now. I wonder what's going on. This was premeditated, folks. He was waiting for my mom to leave. And I see Ellie Don driving the car down the driveway as we're pulling up to the end of the driveway. And we stop, and he stops, and he goes, waves us on, and I go, and he sees that it's me, and he stumbles, he puts it in reverse, and he floors it. And this car starts careening through our lawn. There's bird feeders on 4x4 posts. Kapoof! There's beautiful little trees. He's, you know, it's like wet Michigan clay soil. So he's skidding out. There's dirt flying. He finally, as I'm like jaw down, like what is going on? This is so surreal. Wow. He finally kind of pulls it back where the car was to begin with. I get out and I go, Elida, you are in such big trouble. They're gonna send you back to Albania. And he goes, no, William, no. He goes, no, tell your parents. No, tell your parents. And I looked around at the yard. It's like, sure, I won't say a word, you know. So the next couple hours, Elidon, he was meticulously lifting every blade of grass. He had brooms on the grass. He collected all of the birdhouses, put all the pieces into really nice, neat piles. and he really tried to cover up his big mistake. But it was too big of a mistake. And he had to leave our family. This is all in the span of 3.5 weeks. It seemed like a lifetime. But Elidon, yeah, they sent him to another family for a couple weeks, but then that didn't work out either. And so they shipped him back to Albania. But he did not go back to Albania, no. He got over, and I think the stopover was in Philadelphia, and he had a family member that, maybe his uncle, that was in the States, that picked him up. And then I didn't know where he was after that. Until 6 months later. I'm home for my first 6 months at college, and my mom comes up to my bedroom. She has the phone and a really funny look on her face, and she says, "It's for you." And I pick it up. He said, "Ah, yes, William. This is Elidon. I am in Orlando, Florida, studying law." Okay, cool, man. And he was so happy to talk to me, and I was actually really happy to talk to him. And to backtrack 6 months, when he left our house, we went up to his room to clean out his stuff, and we found some funny things. One being a bunch of dried up banana peels, some rotting food underneath his bed. Maybe some cultural differences, I'm not sure. After we cleaned out his closet, we looked on the inside of the closet, and Elidon, the kid who felt like we didn't connect with him, he didn't fit with our family, he had made a poster that said, this is when he already knew that he wasn't going to stay with us anymore. He left this poster that said, "Thank you, Koster family. I love you. He drew a poster, a picture on it, and it was this a moment when that happened that we, this kid who seemed to be just putting a wrench in every gear, really did get a connection from being with us. And then, when we read that note, like, it made us almost cry because we really had a connection of meeting this kid, Elidon, also. And the topic for this story was transformation. And you just never know when you meet somebody, what kind of transformation might occur that you aren't expecting, that you might like get something from this new person that has all these new things to offer you. So that's my story. Thank you guys for listening.